Hello, my name is Jamie McMahon. I want to talk to you guys tonight about a Revolutionary War site that I have found very interesting. It is Fort Ticonderoga. I actually have studied Fort Ticonderoga some in the past. I actually became very interested in Fort Ticonderoga back when I read a work of fiction by John Jakes. I read a book, The Kent Family Chronicles. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read it. It's a series of books set during, it really starts in colonial times up through the Revolutionary War, all the way up through the Civil War. A series of books by John Jakes. But in it, it talks a lot about Fort Ticonderoga and a specific mission there that I really want to talk about. But Fort Ticonderoga was a fort used a lot by the French, even the British in the French and Indian War. It was taken by American forces in 1775 in an expedition led by Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys. They were actually supposedly surprised the British in their sleep. It was kind of a rundown fort, probably not very good for a lot of things. But one of the most interesting things about Fort Ticonderoga is a mission by Henry Knox. Boston is in siege. General Washington and a lot of the Americans are really trying to get the British to leave Boston. And he gets the idea, Henry Knox gets the idea, remember he is a book salesman in Boston, and he gets the idea to go to Fort Ticonderoga and retrieve all the guns there and bring them back to Boston. Now we're talking cannons, howitzers. Actually, he does go and get 44 guns, 14 mortars, and a howitzer. That is actually, according to our book here, Robert Middlecraft, The Glorious Cause. He gets all of those things, and according to Greenville Inglesby, who wrote a book, The Ticonderoga Expedition, he brings those things back. Now remember, this is in 1775, 1776, at the turn of the year there, 300 miles. There's no cars, no trains, any of that stuff, and it takes 56 days. Now, the way he did it was they had to wait till winter, and they drug it over the ice. Probably one of the most amazing expeditions ever, and it actually helped to push the British out of Boston. But that is what really got me kind of turned on to that. Helen Gilchrist writes a great article, The History of Fort Ticonderoga, where she outlines Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys actually coming in to take Fort Ticonderoga, a lot of those things. But Fort Ticonderoga, if you can see here, and sorry I'm not very good at the videos yet, but here is a picture of Fort Ticonderoga. And if you look at it, it sits right there on the lake, so you can see a very, very important place as far as that is concerned. And it would be a great place to go visit. Obviously, I don't live anywhere close to New York, or I would definitely go visit it. Actually, in doing some research on if you go there and visit some of the cool things that they have that you can do, they have just daily tours, obviously. Also a soldier's life program where you can actually go in and see what it was like to be a soldier at Fort Ticonderoga. You can go through classes of musket maintenance where you can see the different things they did there. Actually have dinner like a soldier, the tailoring, the shoemaking, visit their barracks, all the different things that they would have done on a daily basis. You can experience those. They also have a very extensive library there for research. They actually have 14,000 different works that have been published in their library there. Early military manuals from the French, the British, and the Americans. A lot of historical biographical works, most of them on Fort Ticonderoga and things like that. They also have tons of copies of early newspapers, magazines, and everything from the area. They have a big archive section, different manuscripts from when the French were in control, the British and the Americans. They have the orderly books from where just the orderlies that work there at the fort and all of the things they did, just the daily orderly books. They have numerous soldier journals, great primary sources. They also have tons of maps of the area, maps of Ticonderoga, different things like that. They have tons of artifacts as well, original uniforms, weapons, art from the times, powder horns that were actually used at Fort Ticonderoga. all of those things like that. So Fort Ticonderoga would just be a tremendous place to be able to take a field trip. I know as a teacher, I would love to be able to take my class somewhere like there just to hopefully give them an idea of what life would have been like at the fort. I also think going to the Adirondacks, seeing the geographical position of Fort Ticonderoga would give you a very good idea of the importance that this fort was, is just where it was located. One other interesting fact brought up in the article of Helen Gilchrist is the very first American Navy was actually outfitted here by none other than Benedict Arnold. And that is done while the Americans are in control of this fort. So you can see just the drastic importance of Fort Ticonderoga and just how great of a place it would be to go visit. I would really love to get there one day, and it would be amazing to be able to take a field trip to Fort Ticonderoga. So I hope that you've enjoyed learning a little bit about Fort Ticonderoga, and I thank you very much, and good night.